C. Calhoun, born 1782, died 1850, was a prominent U.S. statesman and spokesman for the slave plantation system of the antebellum South. As a young congressman from South Carolina, he helped steer the United States into war with Great Britain and established the Second Bank of the United States. Calhoun went on to serve as U.S. Secretary of War, Vice President, and briefly as Secretary of State. As a longtime South Carolina senator, he opposed the Mexican-American War and the admission of California as a free state, and was renowned as a leading voice for those seeking to secure the institution of slavery. The Clemson University campus is built on Calhoun's Fort Hill plantation. Calhoun not only owned an antebellum southern agricultural plantation of over 1,000 acres of land, but also some 70 to 80 enslaved African Americans.
My name's John Harrelson. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I'm a freshman.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history, and how did you learn about it?
No, I haven't learned about Clemson's history, honestly.
There's no way that you learned about it, like, at all?
No.
No? Alright. Do you notice a lot of the monuments while walking around campus?
Not really.
Not even a statue?
Well, I mean, I was a statue, yeah.
Alright, well, that's a monument.
Yeah.
I noticed it. Do you know the significance of John C. Calhoun to Clemson?
He gave land.
It's good enough. Can you name John C. Calhoun's accomplishments in the state or across the country?
No.
Just one will be fine. No?
No.
My name is Connor Cohen.
And I'm Darren Abney.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history? Do you notice a lot of the monuments while walking around campus, and could you name a few?
Yeah, but I couldn't name them.
That's good enough. Do you know the significance of John C. Calhoun to Clemson University?
Heard about it. I can't tell you what it is, but I've heard about it.
Alright, well that's good enough. And can you name one thing Calhoun did?
Mm-mm.
No?
The Fort Hill House was home to John C. Calhoun from 1825 to 1858. Later, from 1872 to 1888, it housed Calhoun's daughter, Anna Maria Calhoun Clemson, and Anna's husband, Thomas Green Clemson, who became the founder of Clemson University. In 1888, Thomas Clemson bequeathed Fort Hill Plantation to the state of South Carolina for the establishment of a scientific and agricultural college. He wanted Fort Hill to always be open to visitors. The lesser-known history of Fort Hill is that it used to be a plantation where 70 to 80 slaves worked. African Americans played a huge part in the operation and economy of Fort Hill.
Go.
So, what's your name?
I'm Tyler. I'm a freshman at Clemson.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history, and how did you learn about it?
Oh, yeah. You know, I've been to the different places on campus. Just read the plaques and stuff, and saw the history.
Okay. Do you notice a lot of the monuments while walking around campus?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I do. They're quite nice. Interesting to look at.
Can you name a few of the monuments around campus?
No, but I know where they are, and I can look at them.
Okay. So how much do you know about the Fort Hill house?
Honestly, can't remember.
Did you know that it used to be a plantation, and how do you feel about that?
Oh, that, yeah, I did. I mean, it was history. It happened once. It doesn't change anything today, really.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Panagiotis Milionis. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a freshman at Clemson University.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history, and if so, how have you learned about it?
Well, I looked it up a lot myself before I came here because I'm from Chicago, so I wanted to get pretty much a rundown on how it came to be. So I've learned a lot through my own research, really. And when I visited my first time, I tried to get as much as I could from the limited time I was here.
Okay. Do you notice a lot of the historical monuments around campus, or not really?
I do, but I mean, I don't pay much attention. I got stuff to do.
How do you know a lot about the Fort Hill House?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And what do you think about the fact that it used to be?
I mean, I go here. I mean, yeah, it's kind of just the house itself gives me some bad vibes, but like.
Yeah.
The place being a plantation doesn't really affect me that much because it's a learning institution now, so like I could care less really, and no one's like advocating to reopen the plantation, so why should I care?
Okay, thank you.
Throughout Clemson's history, we have had two presidents' houses. The first was created in 1893 by our first president, Craig Headstone. This house was created through use of African American sharecroppers, as was much of Clemson at this time. It housed our first three presidents and would have housed the fourth as well. However, he elected to stay in his manor off campus. Our current house was created in 1959 by our fifth president, R.C. Edwards, in his administration. It should be noted that this administration was still yet to admit its first African American student. However, they did achieve this in the next 3 years. This led to the desegregation of the school over the next 10 years or so. The current president's house has housed every president since its completion, but it still has never housed an African American president.
Worst player, Elliott, South Carolina, biological science.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history through school?
Probably.
Probably?
My father went here.
Oh, really? Have you noticed a lot of the monuments around campus?
I've looked at him.
Okay. Do you know who our current president is?
No.
Alright. Do you realize that the house that he lives in right now is older than the first African American student coming onto campus?
It's crazy.
I don't know. Alright.
Alright, thank you, Worth.
Hi, Isaac. Biochemistry major.
Alrighty. Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history through like campus classes or anything?
No.
Okay. Do you notice any of the monuments as you walk around campus?
Yeah, some of them, I guess.
Okay.
At a glance.
Can you name our current president?
Nope.
Alright. Now here's a more interesting thing. Wait, get that.
More?
Do you realize that that house was built before the first African American student was even admitted onto campus?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I don't know. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much.
Tillman Hall is one of the most iconic historical landmarks on campus, but it is also one of the most controversial. There have been many protests and petitions to change its name, but Clemson has voted to keep it. The hall is named after Benjamin Ryan Tillman, also known as Pitchfork Ben, due to his aggressive language. The reason many have argued to change the name is because Tillman was a known slave owner, served in the Confederate Army, and is also known for his large history of racism. When asking some students around campus about Tillman Hall and Ben Tillman himself, this is what they had to say.
My name is Bradford Sykes. I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and I'm a biology major.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history?
I've not.
No?
No, I've not learned much about Clemson's history, honestly.
Okay. Did you notice a lot of the monuments while walking around campus?
Yes, I have.
Do you know a couple?
Not by name. I know where a lot of like the monuments are, and like there's like this big oak tree that has like the tag, and it has like the history of that on it, and like there's a bunch of stuff like that around the campus. I've seen them.
Cool. Do you know anything about Ben Tillman?
No, I do not.
No? Do you think Tillman should be renamed?
To what? Just something different?
Something different.
It doesn't really like bother me, so it doesn't really matter.
My name is Kate Brady. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm a business major.
Could you tell me anything about Ben Tillman?
Shoot, I don't know. I actually don't know anything about him, besides the fact that it's Tillman Hall. But.
There we go. Do you think Tillman should be renamed?
I don't know. I don't know what it would be renamed to, so I guess not, because I think it's a good name, and if I knew what it was about, who the guy was, I think it'd be fine, but I don't know.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Can we stay around and ask that?
Yeah.
Go.
Have you learned a lot about Clemson's history?
You didn't learn shit.
Do you notice a lot of the monuments while walking around campus, and could you name a few?
Yeah, but I couldn't name them.
That's good enough. Do you know the significance of John C. Calhoun to Clemson University?
I've heard about it. I can't tell you what it is, but I've heard about it.
All right, well, that's good enough. And can you name one thing Calhoun did?
Mm-mm.
No.
All right, we're done.